Everyone is out here fighting the algorithm on Instagram and TikTok like their life depends on it. Meanwhile, Pinterest is quietly sending traffic to your website from a blog post you published 3 years ago like an absolute overachiever. Let's talk about how you're sleeping on the most underrated platform you could be using for your business. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha, and this is A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I help day one entrepreneurs take that first terrifying leap into business ownership without completely losing their minds in the process. This channel is for people who are standing on the edge of something big, wondering if they're completely unhinged for even considering it. Okay, so first, before we get started, just kind of a little funny story. Two funny stories actually. So, when I first got this microphone boom arm several years ago now, 2023, meh. Anyway, I had ordered it and I also got a puppy. Her name is Astrid. She's a German Shepherd. And when I had taken this out of the box, I had set it against my desk to go grab scissors to just kind of cut through like the tape that was around it. And when I came back, she had chewed through everything. And like the base that holds onto my desk is like completely chewed through. And the road logo is like just chew marks. And she had done like there's little pieces missing. And she had done something else to sort of this section that holds the microphone. And it has been holding strong for several years now. But the last couple days, it just has given up on life. And my microphone just keeps shifting to the left. So if throughout this episode you see the microphone is at different levels, that's why. It's because of Astrid. It's because of Astrid. Second funny story, my neurospiciness definitely kicked in when I was doing this episode because I really wanted to do research for this episode. Um Sometimes I find myself riffing so hard that I'm like, "Oh, I should have researched XYZ thing." And I think about that while I'm filming or I think about that after I publish a video. But this one I was like, "No, I'm going to do my research beforehand. Like don't just riff and talk about your experiences, like provide actual data." And that data was to go through my blog and go through Pinterest and the programs that it is that I used to use for my Pinterest strategy and what information is out there for social media analytics and stuff like that. And I just got this wave of nostalgia going through my blog. I went through the blog and I went through like old archived posts that could have been Facebook posts, like status updates. Like that was just like, hello from the Labrador Sea. Hey guys, I can't sleep on my flight and it's my first flight internationally. I'm headed to Iceland. I'm really excited. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. Bye. Like it was so wholesome and adorable that I was just clearly so excited. I bought the Wi-Fi so I could share with my blog that I was going to Iceland. But at the same time, I was like, girl, there's no keywords, there's no SEO, there's no photos. It's just, hey, what's up? So it's stuff like that. It just like, you could cringe or you could laugh, right? And I just chose to think it was just like really cute that I was so excited. But because I sort of went down memory lane and I was going through a lot of things, first of all, I had this intense reminder that I was really good at this. And to have that years later and just be like, wow, you were really good at this, that's pretty cool. And secondly, I was so inspired by my wave of nostalgia that I did something. One, two, and change. new blog posts that I will be writing, complete with SEO keywords and soon to be published dates. Why am I endeavoring into writing blog posts when I've committed to posting daily on YouTube and I'm opening up coaching calls and I'm doing this and I'm doing that? Because I forgot how much I loved it. SEO drives me crazy and I really hate doing it. I'll still do it, but I don't care for it because it's just so much work. But the writing is really what I missed. And I just ended up creating, I think it's 81 posts is what I drafted out in terms of like a list of what I can do. So, whoopsie. Okay, so let's dive into the episode. Hopefully, you got a little cheer out of those stories. And maybe I'll show you a picture of Astrid at some point in time. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is the half-life data that I found for social media and Pinterest. Now, the half-life is basically the average a post lasts and receives engagement for before it just kind of falls off and disappears into the void of the internet. So this data is from 2025. It's still a little early in the year yet to be getting 2026 data because it does change every year. And usually you start to see stuff come out June and July. So halfway through the year, you'll start to see social media analytics come out where it's like reports of how things are going. And as of 2025, the half life of Instagram posts was 19 hours. TikTok is 1 day. Facebook, 5 hours. LinkedIn, 24 hours. X/Twitter, 18 minutes. But for Pinterest, which is a search engine, not a social media platform, it was anywhere from 13 months to several years. That's how long the engagement kept going on for stuff on Pinterest versus social media platforms. And I want that to sink in for a minute because I know how much time and energy and effort we all have put into social media to usually get like quick fixes or just engagement for a day or two, and then it kind of drops off and our followers can't see our stuff sometimes. And there's all these things that go into dealing with social media because it's just vying for your attention. It's vying for you to find new creators. It's always changing. It's always doing this. It's always doing that. But Pinterest is about discoverability and it is about your interests, right? So you can find things on there because I know so many of you have completely different businesses out there. And I want you to know that Pinterest is for so many people. It's a visual search engine. If you don't know what Pinterest is or you haven't really used it, it's a visual search engine. And you can find things on there like book challenges where you read, book bingo, do like a book bingo and read throughout the year. Or, you can find lists of like sci-fi fiction books from 2018 written only by women. And you can find cross stitch patterns and tattoo inspiration and, sort of general business advice from bloggers and travel itineraries and activities you can do with your children in the redwood forests. And what else do I have on here? Exercise challenges. You can find podcasts to listen to. It's just so amazing what Pinterest can provide for you that really anybody with a link can set something up for Pinterest to divert traffic to that. You can use your Instagram posts and throw them up on Pinterest and have traffic diverted to them. So even if a Instagram post was to sort of die out on Instagram, you could still get likes on it from Pinterest. It's so crazy. Now, maybe like 6 months ago, I had a blog post of mine pick up a lot of traction. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I had like way more views this month compared to last month. And it was just a particular blog post. So somebody must have repinned it and it did really well or whatever. But it all the traffic came from Pinterest. That influx of like 100 more views per month than what I normally get came from Pinterest. And that blog post was written like 3 or 4 years ago. So the fact that Pinterest can still do that for your website and still convert clicks and still convert people to my website to crawl through it and check stuff out is amazing. So I want to talk about my personal Pinterest story when I was a travel blogger and travel photographer, and I was very heavy on Pinterest in those days, and I committed to several hours of time to Pinterest every single month. I had hired someone to manage my Pinterest account to make sure it was active and doing really well. And it got to the point where I learned so much about Pinterest. I was doing it on my own. It was very easy to do once you learn about all the nooks and crannies of a platform, especially because, right, it's if you don't use Pinterest, it is a new platform. You have to learn about it. You have to learn how it works, see what works for you, that kind of thing. On Pinterest, I was getting hundreds of thousands of views per month. And then a percentage of that converts to click throughs to your website. So I was doing really well. And that also led to collaborations, backlinks. It led to the introduction to a future client of mine. It even really helped my domain authority. And for those of you who don't know what domain authority is, and this is a horrible oversimplification, but this video is about Pinterest, not domain authority. So, domain authority is basically all websites have it, and it's basically a popularity score. So it goes from 1 to 100. Now, 1 is either a website that's just not touched, or it's a brand new website. Nobody can be a 0. Everybody is at least a 1. And then you have something like Google, Apple, major news sites. They're all like in the 90s and hundreds. Like you'll see them at like 98s, 100, that kind of thing. So that's what domain authority is. That's kind of the spectrum. And my domain authority as just a travel blogger was like a 23. And a lot of that was courtesy of Pinterest and Yoast, another plugin that I love gushing about. You just shouldn't be sleeping on this platform. And to think that I've made a lot of mistakes with my business, but walking away from Pinterest was definitely one of them. So I cannot recommend trying to figure out some sort of time to commit to Pinterest in your business. Now, when you sign up for Pinterest, it automatically goes to a personal account, but you can create a free business account with Pinterest. It is free. So the fact that it is free means you should probably do it. Okay. So with this free business account, now there's a couple steps you have to go through to verify that you own your website, to verify your business email, that kind of thing. It might be a little bit different because I verified forever ago, like years ago. So their process might be a little bit different now, but I wasn't going to disconnect my business account to reconnect it to figure that out for you. But it is still free and it is still really good. So it gives you analytics for how all your pins are performing over the last 30 days. And it also gives you things like what's trending right now, what might be trending in the future in the next couple months to year, and also what the editor picks are as to what sort of content you might see Pinterest pushing. How is this helpful to you? Oh my God, so many content ideas that you could be utilizing and throwing up on Pinterest and somehow making it work for your business. So I had spoken to somebody a couple years ago about Pinterest, and I was like, they had like an exercise blog, and they were like, yeah, but I just don't see the use in it. And I was like, oh my God, do you know how many exercise challenges I've taken from Pinterest? And you could be utilizing this information of what's trending to sort of tailor some content and posts and videos and stuff like that that you could link on Pinterest back to whatever platform you wanted to go to. So like, for instance, when I was on Pinterest today, what's trending? The Olympics. There's other stuff trending, but I'm using the Olympics as an example of one of the things that's trending. And if you're an exercise coach and the Olympics are trending right now, why not create some content that's like, here's how to train like an Olympian? Here's 6 exercises your favorite Olympian does, right? Like you can totally use that to your advantage and jump on that trending train. And then also see what is trending in the future that you can go, okay, so if this is potentially trending in the future, such as waterfalls in autumn, right? Something crazy. You can start preparing posts now about good waterfall locations around the world if you're like a travel blogger or whatever, and get that ready and schedule it a couple months from now and see that hitting that trend that is, like forecasted to happen. This business account is free. And I mean, they do make their money because you can pay for your pins to become ads. And I've done that in the past where I paid for ads on Pinterest and I just was not disappointed. Like it just was so good. I got really good traffic that didn't affect my bounce rate. I got several newsletter signups. Like it really did a lot of good for me back in the day because I tried it and I was just like, I'm really curious if this does anything. And it did. So if you're someone who likes to do paid ads, I thought it was effective. And if it was effective years ago, I'm sure it's only just gotten better at this point in time because it's, been several years of growth and evolution for that company. This next section is for bloggers specifically. And especially if you're just starting out and you're like, I'm going to just start with a blog first and then work my way up to whatever it is my goals are. Or if you just want to be a blogger only, okay? This is based on my experience from back in the day, how it was successful, and what it is that social media is like now. I would say your priority should be focus on your blog content calendar, create a Pinterest strategy first, learn Pinterest, get a good routine going with Pinterest, and then focus on a social media strategy. The reason is because social media is it's harder to get click-throughs to a website, whereas Pinterest, the whole point is that you click through. So when people are interested in something, they click through, which of course is a lot of click-throughs, and you get that conversion way better than you would on any social media platform. The other thing is that once you learn what I call the nooks and crannies of something, right? Is once you learn all the nooks and crannies of Pinterest and how it works, and you get like, just go to Etsy and buy a handful of Pinterest templates for like $1 and just have them on hand that you fill a couple of them out, throw them up and schedule them out. And you spend like an afternoon scheduling a bunch of pins for the next 2 months because you should only be posting a couple pins a day, but I'm not going to go down the strategy road too much. But like schedule pins out for the next 2 months and then you don't have to touch it and you can focus on your blog and then focus on social media. You will get such a return from Pinterest compared to social media going to your website and going to your blog and creating that traffic and improving your domain authority. Honestly, that's just based on my experience. And that is like the best piece of advice I think I could possibly give someone who's interested in starting a blog or being a blogger only. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this plugin that I use on my website called Hubbub Pro, Hubbub Pro. And it is developed by NerdPress. Other than Yoast, I cannot gush about Hubbub Pro enough. I just want to like explain the visualization behind it, but it has so many fantastic features to offer your website to help you post to Pinterest and other social media accounts. It's just very worth it. Now, they do have a free version because, of course, you pay for premiums anymore with a lot of things. They do have a free version that goes to Facebook, LinkedIn, I think X, and then Pinterest. Or you can buy, there are several tiers. I wrote it down for you. So there are 4 plans total. One is free. And it is pretty limited. Like I said, you can't really do too much with it other than posting to those four platforms. But then the paid tiers, so the first one starts at $99 per year for one website. This is the one that I have. Now, I say this is $99 per year for one website, but they do bundle their licenses. So if you want to use it for multiple websites, it gets cheaper and cheaper. So the $99 plan shares to about 20 social media platforms and a Pinterest integration. There's Google Analytics tagging, and it unlocks a lot of settings and options. And, they also keep up with this plugin regularly. They make sure they do a good job with it. It's very user friendly. And I find the $99 is truly just very worth it every single year that I pay for it. I have no complaints about it. The next plans are Pro Plus, which is $179 per year for the first website. and Priority, which is $3.99 per year. There are more options, but I think that's probably more like if you're getting like hundreds of thousands to millions of views on your website, I think going into those is better because it offers different type of securities and more commercialized help. So I would just think that those are better if your traffic is like just massive. So I'm happy, very, very, very happy with the options that I have with the $99 per year version. So happy, in fact, that when worldherstory.com goes live, I do have plans to license Hubbub to that as well. So I will be licensing it for multiple websites. I mean, that's just how much I love it. It's just very user friendly and it helps you so much with your meta descriptions and the meta descriptions that are used on social media accounts, how it's shared. Depending on the social media platform, you can have it tag you. So you see who shares it and you can like engage with that person and stuff like that. So it's really cool what it is that this plugin can do for you and your content. So I will tell you that Pinterest rewards consistency. They really do. So the more you show up and the more you are scheduling stuff out on a routine basis, they will reward you by pushing your stuff forward in front of people, sort of at the top of their visual search engine. Now, it was so different in my day when Pinterest first came out and schedulers were first doing stuff. You would schedule like as much as you could. You can't do that anymore because it will just kind of consider you as spam and it will deter away from the whole point of Pinterest being amazing for you. So I would say 3 to 4 pins per day. Like it's 3 pins, I think, is the magic number right now. You just need a couple pins per day, little description, couple of hashtags, save it to a board that's relevant, send it out into Pinterest, schedule it, whatever, and do that, you know, set it up so it does that for you every day. Please don't just sit there and pin every day manually. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go over tools that'll help you with that. It's really cool that Pinterest actually rewards consistency. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that word, but I am. So, that's also a really cool feature of utilizing the platform because I feel like I've seen so many people be consistent on social media and that doesn't mean you get rewarded. So, it's just really cool to see that happening. Now, there are dedicated schedulers out there. I used to use Tailwind app and it is very good. It was very good years ago. This is the program I was going through today and they just launched something. So they just launched something called Turbo, which is like more community driven boards or something like that, that really help drive more, what's the word I'm looking for? That really help drive more, uh, like intentional traffic, like in terms of like you join boards that are like of interest to you and stuff like that, that are relevant to your content and the community helps you out and they boost and it's the comments and saves and pins also add to the engagement of your stuff, not just somebody clicking through and somebody saving the pin. It's something like that. So it's just launching like right now. My phone is literally going off with information about this new turbo that Tailwind has. So um check it out if you're interested. The caveat to Tailwind, two things. You pay annually. They have a couple of different tiers that you can pay for. And also it's really expensive. I think it's really expensive. When I was looking through the plan today, I don't pay for it anymore, but they do have a free plan. You get a couple of monthly credits. You can schedule 5 pins a month or something like that. The price has even gone up since I was paying for it. So the thing is that when you level up your blog and you are getting really good traffic, you could be monetizing it, you could be getting good money from affiliate links. I would say Tailwind would be a really great space to maximize your Pinterest strategy and scheduling. Now, what I do use is Metricool. And I switched to this in September, I think, July, something like that. I switched to it like in last summer, end of last summer. Anyway, it lets you customize the plan that it is that you want to use. So it lets you customize, for the most part, what social media platforms you want to be on. If you want to be on Pinterest, you can add other social media platforms. You can let them know, hey, I have 5 brands, so I need this plan. And you can have, basically, it's like 5 sub accounts on your account. So I have multiple accounts based on my multimedia studio. Like I have World Her Story and I have Tabitha Bear Studios, right? I have 2 separate sub brands on my account that are linked to those separate social media accounts. So I can be linked to 5 different Instagram accounts, 5 different Facebook accounts, 5 different Pinterest accounts. You get what I'm saying here? So it's also, I think, more affordable than um Tailwind in terms of what it is that they offer. I feel like they offer more that you could schedule with, and also they offer monthly plans. So sometimes you need to budget monthly and you can't just drop annually $250, I think is what they wanted to charge me for the lowest tier on Tailwind. So it's a bit pricey considering I haven't been keeping up with my blog, but maybe that's something I'll go back to, if and when the traffic on my blog really picks up again. And if I stick to this list of 81 blog posts I randomly wrote out for myself today. So we'll see. We'll see. But I truly have been enjoying Metricool. That was recommended to me last year. No regrets. It sends stuff out to Threads for me. It sends stuff out to Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I tried a couple different schedulers last year because I was really curious about how I could streamline social media again for myself. And, before it was really hard to use third party schedulers for all these different social media apps because they wanted you to either use theirs or actively post in the moment. And now you can use all these different third party schedulers. And I just think Metricool is really great. And I will have these couple of plugins and like softwares listed in the YouTube description. So this way you can just look at them. Also, I am posting my affiliate link for Metricool in the description. So it's no extra cost to you for anything, but if you decide that you would like to sign up for it, all I ask is that you use my affiliate link. And there you go. Okay. So just to kind of wrap it up about Pinterest, I just think it is such a good platform. It is such a good search engine to use for your business, especially when you have a website, especially when you have links that could lead people to somewhere, to your products, your services, your blog, your podcast, whatever it is that you have links to. You could definitely use Pinterest to convert traffic to somewhere else for you to help your business move along. And it's so funny because when Pinterest first came out, my friends tried to get me on Pinterest and I was like, meh, because all they would do is they'd be like, here's my dream house. Here's this bread recipe I'm going to bake one day. And here's these really cool cookies. And it just felt very Susie Homemaker to me. And I was just like, that's probably not my jam, but thank you so much. And then I went on a blogging boot camp in like 2017 or something like that. And they were like, Pinterest is where it's at. And I was like, yeah, but isn't that like just like baking and stuff? And they were like, no. And they went through everything that Pinterest offered. And I was like, oh, okay. And from 2017 until like 2021, I had been heavily invested in Pinterest and it just was life changing for my blog. So I just cannot stress enough how awesome this platform is, especially because the half-life of your pins lasts so much longer than social media posts. So much longer. It still does so much for my blog to this day that I'm not attending to. Like I attend to the pages of my website, such as like the services I offer, that's updated, my homepage, that kind of stuff. But my blog has just been kind of collecting dust and it still gets traffic from Pinterest. My Pinterest account still has like 50,000 views per month. And that's without me doing a single thing for a couple of years now. So I just think there's so much that you can get out of this platform. And It's very easy to learn how to use it. It's very easy. There are a lot of user-friendly plugins and schedulers out there to help you be even more successful than if you were to sit down and do everything manually through Pinterest, which you can schedule pins through Pinterest, by the way. I should have said that before. It's just it's a little less convenient. So I am very happy paying for the schedulers that I have because they make it easier to do, but you can still do it for free on your business account. On like the free Pinterest business account, you can still schedule stuff out. So, I just totally recommend using it for your business, especially like I said before, if you plan on having a blog with your company website or you plan on being a blogger only, it's just way better to have a Pinterest strategy before you have a social media strategy. And you guys can fight me on it in the comments and let me know what you think about that. But I've just seen it work its magic. And I've had blogger friends who monetized way more money off their blogs than I did, who were getting millions of views per month on Pinterest and getting amazing conversion and making a ton of money and had a domain authority higher than mine, just because of what it is that, you can do on Pinterest if you really, really get into it. And this is not one of those things where, oh my God, I'm going to have to be on it every day. I'm going to have to batch edit. I'm going to have to do this. No, like I said before, go to Etsy, buy some templates, fill them in with your different blog posts, and just schedule them out. And it would take like an afternoon to sit down and do it. And you can schedule out like 2 months worth of Pinterest pins and not touch it again, right? So this does not have to be an overcomplicated thing that takes up your whole month of time. You can still have a social media strategy, but I just think prioritizing a Pinterest strategy is a little bit better when it comes to being a blogger. So before I let you go, I just want to let you know that Hot Mess Triage is open. My calendar is open for business coaching calls. And this is at the request of you guys. Some of you found me on LinkedIn, creepers, and some of you found me on Instagram and DM'd me and were like, hey, I would just really appreciate sitting down and having a call with you and doing the business coach thing. And I told myself I wasn't going to do this for like 15 years, but I've had my company for 10 years now, and there's a lot that I've learned and a lot that I can help day one entrepreneurs out, or entrepreneurs, as I call you guys. Now, if you've had your company for 10 years and you're working on making like your next $1 million or whatever, I am not for you. I am here for the newbies trying to create a solid foundation. So if you are looking to have some clarity and have a good foundation or work out a 30-day plan to really hit the ground running in a good way with whatever it is that you have going on, please reach out to me. Please utilize the link in my Stand store to book a call with me. You will receive a detailed questionnaire so that this way I have all the information I need beforehand so we can make the most of our call instead of me just saying, tell me about your business, and then the hour's over, right? So there are some steps in place to help you, help me, help you, that kind of thing. I hope to see you there at Hot Mess Triage. I'm really excited. It's something new that I'm trying for a limited time. And I also let you guys know I'm saying I'm doing it for a limited time, not as like a marketing scheme for urgency, but in the sense that I just don't know how long I'm going to do it for because I've never done the business coaching thing in a more serious capacity, that I think I just want to see how it goes for you. I want to see how it goes for me. And if this is something I want to keep going with, then I'll open my calendar a little bit further out than just 30 days. But in the meantime, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it convinced you to develop a Pinterest strategy and get on board with Pinterest, which is an amazing visual search engine. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow.